Hello handy beaders, are you ready for some shiny project? I have this bracelet for you today. Let's take a closer look. This bracelet consists of 7 beaded hearts, as you can see, and then the clasp. This particular one is 16.5 centimeters long. Let's see what you will need. A ruler, scissors, flat nose pliers, chain nose pliers, monofilament thread, then for findings you will need 2 jumprings, a lobster claw clasp, a piece of chain about 5 centimeters long, and for the beads, 2 6/0 seed beads, and then some farfalle beads, the smallest size available, and you will need 1 bead per each heart, beside the first heart. Then 11/0 seed beads. I have 2 colors. And the last thing you will need are 6mm fire polished beads in at least 2 colors. You want to have 21 per 1 heart. I prefer Czech fire polished beads. Let's get started. First of all, you want to know the length of the bracelet. This one is 16.5 centimeters long and it has 7 hearts. This parameter of 1 heart measures approximately 2 centimeters. So you want to measure the circumference of your wrist, then spare there 2 to 2.5 centimeters for the clasp, and then divide it by 2. You want to have less hearts, this beaded chain to be shorter, and then adjust it by hooking your clasp on this chain. You will need 30 to 40 centimeters of thread per 1 heart. Then you want to add 100 to 120 centimeters to this basic length, so we can reinforce the bracelet later. When doing the length of this bracelet, which is 16.5 centimeters, I recommend to use 320 centimeters of monofilament thread. When you are not sure, always cut the longer piece of your thread. There is another option. You can engage another piece of thread when you run out of thread, but I don't recommend that. I think the work will be tighter and more secure when working with just 1 piece of thread. Let's prepare your thread, and I have prepared the thread by coloring one end of the thread in red colors, so you can see it well. I will call this end red end, and this will be the white end. On one end, doesn't matter which end, take 4 seed beads. Then you want to pick up the 6/0 seed bead, and then another 3 11/0 seed beads. You have this on your thread, and then take the end on which you have picked up the beads and crisscross the very first bead you picked up from the same direction, like this. Then pull all the way down, and you want this 6/0 seed bead to lay in the middle. So very effective way is to take both ends of your thread, hold them together like this, and then pull the thread and pull the beads all the way down so they end up in the middle of the thread. Now take one of your jump rings and take your pliers, open the jump ring. So you have opened up the jump ring, and take your beads and pull it through the 6/0 seed bead. Then close it. Now pull both ends of thread. Now orientate the work so you have the red end in your right hand. On this red end, pick one fire polished bead, one 11/0, and another fire polished bead. Pull down, then take the other hand, this white end, and pick one fire polished bead, and one 11/0 seed bead. Pull down, take the other end, the red end, and pull the white end through the last bead, the fire polished bead you have added on the red end, like this. Pull the both ends of the thread and you will have this. The red end is in your left hand now. Take the red end and pick one 11/0, one fire polished bead, another seed bead, another fire polished, seed bead, fire polished bead, seed bead, and the last fire polished. This is what you have on the red end. Then take the white end and give it one seed bead. Then crisscross the last fire polished bead, add it on the red end of the string. Pull both ends. Now you have the red end in your right hand. Take the red end and pick up one seed bead, one fire polished bead, seed bead, and the last fire polished. This is what you have so far. And then take the white end and pick one seed bead. And then with the white end crisscross the last fire polished on the red end tail of your thread. Pull. Then take the white end, you have it now in the right hand, and pick one seed bead, one fire polished bead, one seed bead, another fire polished bead, put it down. Well, I forgot to show you. You will have this on your white end. Then take the red end and pick one seed bead and crisscross the last fire polished on the white end tail of your thread. Pull. Now you have red end in your right hand. Pick one seed bead, one fire polished bead, another seed bead, and another fire polished bead on the red end. Then take this white end and pick one seed bead and crisscross the last bead in this formation on your on your red end. pull. Now you have something like this. The white end is now in your right hand, and pick on it one seed bead and one fire polished bead, another seed bead. Then with the white end crisscross this fire polished bead. It's in right upper corner of your circle of 5 fire polished beads and 5 seed beads. So this one, and go this direction, pull, then still in your left hand you have the right end of the thread, sorry, the red end of the thread. So pick one seed bead on the red end of the thread and go through the same fire polished bead in the right upper corner, just the other direction. Pull, and now pull it nicely and tightly. This is what you have so far. I like to turn the work while working, so follow me and turn it like this. In your right hand you have the red end, and go with this red end through the next 4 beads. You will exit of this bead. Pull, then take the other thread, with the white end, and go through the next 2, 4, 5, 6 beads. I like to fold the work while working when it's not possible to pass through the next bead. I like to fold it to see the hole and to pass through the next bead. Pull it tight. And you have this. Now in your right hand is the white end of the thread, and in your left hand you have the red end of your thread. So on the red end of your thread you will pick one seed bead, one fire polished bead, another seed bead, and another fire polished bead. Then take the white end and pick one seed bead. crisscross the last fire polished bead on the right end of your thread and pull. Now you have a white end of your thread in your left hand. So on this end, pick one seed bead, one fire polished bead, one seed bead, another fire polished bead, and then on the other end pick one seed bead and crisscross the last fire polished bead. Pull, and now in the left hand you have the red end of your thread. Pick there one seed bead, one fire polished bead, one seed bead, and another fire polished bead. Take the other end of your thread, the white, and pick one seed bead and crisscross the last fire polished bead added on your red end of the thread. Pull it down. Now you have the white end in your left hand. Pick one seed bead and the last fire polished bead for this heart and another seed bead. Go through the upper left fire polished bead of this circle and you may go down the whole circle. Going down the circle, and you will end here at the top of the circle. Now you are exiting off this middle bead, seed bead, on the top of the inner circle of this heart. You want to go one seed bead further to end right on the top of your heart. Then you want to take another thread the one with the red end, and you will pick up one seed bead and you will go through the upper left fire polished bead of this inner circle. I have to make it with my right hand. You can go through the top seed bead, the seed bead on the top of the inner circle as well, and then go through the next seed bead. Now you have your two ends on the top of your heart, like this. You want to pull it just a bit, not too tight, but quite tight. And now you have the first heart of your bracelet. Take the red end and take one farfalle bead. Crisscross with the other end and pull it down. Now you have an idea how to continue. Alternate the colors, so every heart is made of another color beads, just to emphasize the hearts, as you can see here, and then come back when you are ready to finish your bracelet. When you are done with your hearts and you are happy with the length of your bracelet, let's move on to add clasps. Let's pretend these two hearts are the whole bracelet without clasps. I have these two for you just to demonstrate how to end it. So just imagine this is the whole bracelet. We ended up like this. So take 3 seed beads on each end of your thread. First end and then the second end. Here we go. And then take the last 6/0 seed bead you have prepared and crisscross the threads through it. Pull. Now take one end and go through the next 3 seed beads. And up through these 3 seed beads on the other side. 1, 2, and 3. And again through this big 6/0 seed bead in the center, and again through these 3 here. And pull. Take the other end of your thread and go through these 3, the next 3 on the same side. Like this. Pull both ends and now you have one end like this, one end of your bracelet. You can add jump ring now, so big jump ring and big flat nose pliers and chain nose pliers. Open the jump ring go through this big 6/0 bead like this and then close it. Maybe you can add the chain you have prepared for this step now or later. Close the jump ring. You can add on the chain some embellishments, like on this bracelet, but now I'm leaving it like this without any embellishments. So this is one end of your bracelet. Now we want to reinforce the bracelet to make it not so flexible, more in shape. It keeps shape when reinforcing it. So we want to do this. Let's start with one thread. Doesn't matter which one. I'm choosing this right one. So let's go down these 3 beads on the top of your heart. Quite tricky. Up to the 3rd. And now you want to go through these border beads, through these fire polished beads, a bead, then 2 seed beads, fire polished bead, 2 seed beads, fire polished bead, 2 seed beads, fire polished bead, then just these 2. You have to skip the one which is in the center, just 2, and fire polished bead, then through this farfalle, and then do the same as at the beginning. So go through these 3 beads, and now you will end exactly in the same position as you ended here, and go through all the way down and stop before or behind this bead, and do the same for the other side, and stop somewhere here next to this bead. After reinforcing it, we end it here in this corner. So again, I went through these 3 beads, then the path goes this way, through this farfalle, again into these 3 beads, and at the border of heart right here. So this thread, and on the other side that's the same, just the other side. So we went through these 3, and at the border of our heart, crossing this farfalle through these 3, and again down here and then through this center bead, and the second thread is right here, exiting from this center bead. So now we have two threads next to each other, so we can tie a square knot and hide it in this fire polished bead. And then we want to end clasp to this jump ring, and we have our beautiful bracelet ready to use. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and maybe give it a thumb up if you like it, and have fun with this tutorial. I had fun with it too, and see you later in the next video. Bye bye.